all just
America.
comfortable.
I'm very proud that you are doing this role. Can you talk about some of the changes that you the character?
You know, I think first when they're so open to casting an Asian American for Harley Quinn, it's the first time doing that. You come with my perspective, and that is the first, second generation trauma of immigrant family, right? But she's an overachiever. She became a psychiatrist, and I kind of love that she becomes a vigilante in her own way. She's taken the corrupt, most elite people in Gotham, becoming their psychiatrist, and then using all that information and turning it against them. I kind of feel like she's like the Robin Hood of Gotham. You know what I mean? Like taking from the rich and giving to herself.
So maybe not Robin Hood.
Tomato, tomato.
How did you find the voice for the character?
I mean, it's so tough too, especially with Bruce Timm helming this project and growing up in the 90s, I mean, Saturday cartoons, weekday cartoons, and watching Batman the animated series, it's hard not to be influenced by Arlene Sorkin. I mean, she's a fucking legend. She brought Harley Quinn to who she is today, and a lot of the Harley Quinn's live actions also took from Arlene Sorkin. So it was hard not to try to imitate her, a really bad imitation of that, but I love that Bruce Timm gave us the liberty to play with this new character, but also flipping the script. Instead of Harley Quinn being really unpredictable and joyful and twisted, he wanted Harleen Quinzel, Dr. Harleen Quinzel, to be bubbly and disarming, and then have Harley Quinn be really menacing and using lower, not a barrel tone, but in your chest. And it was really fun. It was really fun there.
Can you talk a little bit about her relationship status this season? Because I've only seen the first 5, and she asked Montoya out on a date.
I mean, she's open, which I appreciate. But I kind of love also that this Harley Quinn isn't tied in so deeply with the Joker. She has her own identity. She is her own person. She is independent. She's got a 9 to 5. She turns into my toddler is the devil. At night. So it's kind of neat to see her origin story and be so different. But yeah, she's flirting so hard.
She is.
I mean,
and she's courting. She's like, listen, I want to take her to a nice place. Like, I want to make
she's
sure
very
that
forward.
Yes.
I'm gonna take you on a date. Yeah, exactly. I love how forward she is.
We don't know exactly where this series will be. I'm thinking about the year. But do you feel like there is a feminist idea of Harley Quinn?
Oh, absolutely. And I kind of love that they've I love DC, but the issue with most of Batman and Superman is there's not a lot of female antagonists or protagonists. And I love that kind of Bruce Timm came up with these ideas, like making the Penguin, for example, a female character, and then Harley Quinn giving her own feet to stand on. But yeah, I would consider her a twisted feminist.
Did you have any favorite Batman comic stories?
Oh man, I mean, again, I grew up in the 90s, so we didn't have babysitters. I watched cartoons. And I was kind of going back, but you can't beat Batman, the animated series, or X-Men, the animated series on Saturdays. Always turned out to be a fucking rerun, though. You know what I mean? When it did play, it was so annoying. No, but I was revisiting all of the Batmans. I do love Batman. But I just love Michelle Pfeiffer. I mean, watching her outtakes, especially on TikTok, it's coming up, with her actually using the whip to take off the mannequin head, and then having so much fun with it and jumping rope. I was just kind of blown away by her ad-libs and her outtakes. It's kind of cool. Big fan.
Can watch this series also. I feel like it's not focused on children. It's for adults.
Oh yeah, totally.
So makes it easier for you to create this Harley Quinn that can be growing up?
I think so. I mean, I do a lot of, I did Big Hero 6 for a long time and it was very G-rated, so it's kind of nice to torment and torture characters to save them. So I have more fun doing that. Ask my husband.
I don't know if you can speak on love it, but obviously your disassociation with the Joker is great.
Yeah.
But are we not going to see him? And if he, I mean, I'd love if he came in and he actually wanted to be your boyfriend,
No,
your
I
sidekick.
think she does find him on Raya in the 9th episode, and you know
Good old Raya.
they go on a couple dates, and she's like, go left, swipe left. So yeah, I think that's kind of the origin of their beautiful romance. It's modern day, guys, but it's set in the 40s.
How did you get this role? Was it something they approached you for, or did you have to audition?
No, I think Hamish was the only one that had to audition. No, we were talking about that. And by the way, he sounded so good. I was like, Hamish, that sounds nothing like you. It's amazing what you did with your voice. No, it was, I did a couple of different roles in different Batman animated series, you know, throughout the years, and I can't remember a single character that I played. But no, it was offered to me, and I was kind of confused. I was like, wait, I'm sorry. The Harley Quinn? Are you sure? So I kind of loved their modern twist and take and inclusivity on it, but it kind of made it more nerve-wracking. I'd rather audition for the role than be offered the role, because then you don't know what you're getting yourself into when you're in the booth and when you show up to set. So yeah, they gave me nothing. I can go back on the email and it just gives you nothing, but which makes you even more nervous. But I came prepared, obviously knowing that it was Bruce Timm's work, watching all of his past animations, and I kind of did like a bad imitation of, you know, Arlene Sorkin's Harley Quinn, and they were like, no. So he was a very good director in terms of like giving me notes on what he really wanted. Yeah. But it's terrifying. I thought I was going to get fired, and I have been fired from an animation before. So.
What do you think that the biggest serious contribution to the fans? I mean, what do you think they will like the most? What they relate
God.
to?
I mean, if you're familiar with the series from the 90s, 92 through 97, I believe, you get a sense of like the cinematic element, the music, the orchestra, like just the beginning, like, you know, the credits and everything. You're just like, oh God, this feels so nostalgic. You know, it's the noir, it's the detective Batman. It's kind of cool. It is really fun, and it doesn't take itself so seriously, but I think what you have familiar characters with different origin storylines, so it's like a reimagining. It's a remix, I like to call. But the voice actors, I remember watching the Catwoman episode, and I was like, who is playing Catwoman? She's killing it. I was like, oh shit, it's Christina Ricci. I mean, what a cast. You know, and then it was hidden for me that Minnie Driver was going to be Penguin, and I had no idea. And I kind of rushed in to watch her episode, but I think it's familiar aspects of the storyline, but also it's fresh and it's new. Last question.
I think it's interesting that Harley gives Batman some of the best advice, honestly, that he's ever received in his entire life on this series, and yet he's still like, whatever, girl. So I feel like, you know, why is it that she is also not taking that advice in her own life? It feels like she's not.
What is the advice?
Well, she's giving him all of the advice in terms of like staying grounded, you know, mostly like deal with your trauma, don't let your trauma deal with you, you know, kind of manage that. And he's just like, whatever. And so I love that relationship. So talk a little bit more just about the relationship that she has with Batman as the therapist, because I think that's the
I think it's just the mystery. I think she's so intrigued by this man because she's like always trying to talk about, I mean, what is it called? Trauma bombing?
Yes.
Like I usually do that when I first meet people. I'm like, oh, trauma dumping. Yeah, I fucking love it. But, you know, but Bruce won't get into that. So you're like, come on, man. Like, let's open up.
Yes.
You know? So it is kind of fun to play the therapist, but I did find a really good therapist, and I think that's really helped me tap into playing a therapist. Yeah. Anyways, but it's fun.
And also, I just have to say, I love your character in prison this season.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Awesome.
Washington.
Thanks, you guys.
I know.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.